makes some sense to me.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and tonight's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Cardinals and the Silver and Black, and it's coming up next.
Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that could have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Stadium. Fielded just outside the goal line. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Raiders set to go to work behind their veteran quarterback, and that's Derek Carr.
It's been fun to watch his development through the years, and right now what you see is a very confident quarterback who has a strong sense of self, totally understands the offense, and knows how to get the ball to his playmakers on the run.
Right to the air is Carr. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Carr. And it's complete to Adams. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
In this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, 21.6 miles per hour. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And Devontae Adams able to finish things with a touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. On a return, Rondale Moore will bring it out. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. The Cardinals now getting set to go offensively, and it'll be the dual-threat quarterback Kyler Murray leading the way.
And when you have a guy like Kyler Murray under center, it not only opens up your playbook, it allows you to draw up even more plays because he's among the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the league and a true playmaker. If flushed out of the pocket, he might even be more dangerous. The next step for him, being able to throw on rhythm and deliver from the pocket.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 11. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. Charles already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. I know at the end of games, coaches always tell us that no one play won or lost a game. But this seems pretty important early, doesn't it? Their ability to pick up that first down on 3rd down, I thought that was key.
Well, you're already in the hole after the touchdown on the other side. How will you respond? We talk about that a lot, and they responded pretty well there. You go 3 and out, I think you give up a lot of momentum. You get down 2 scores, could be an entirely different game.
So they've got a nice drive going now. They're in good shape. What's interesting to me is they're also in that spot of the field where you would take a shot. Do you change that up just because you're down a touchdown?
On 1st down, Connor plowing ahead for about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Murray. He finds Hopkins complete. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on. And I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
On 1st and 10 is Connor, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw, it's Murray. To Connor on the check down. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Cardinal football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Murray now to throw. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Decent gain on the scramble of 6, but now it's 4th.
That looked great when he first took off because in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
They'll run for it with Connor. And he's not going to get the first. I don't even think he made it back to the line of scrimmage. He needed a couple, but he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So they're the game, already trailing, haven't given up points. But a little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game, that they've got to match them point for point, as opposed to, hey, we'll get them later. Maybe he just has that sense, and that's why he decided to go for it there.
Carr's throw complete to Hollins. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now on first down. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's second down. Throwing now is Carr. Gonna throw right side here, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A gain of 32 that time. The defense, they weren't fooled on that post route. They just couldn't make the play.
And the offense definitely tried to fool them because you saw the other route combinations, didn't you? Anything that they were running trying to draw attention away from the deep part of the field, but still had it covered, yet they were able to come up with a nice play.
So now following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. Carr now to throw. Touchdown Raiders! A pair of teammates at Fresno State connecting there. Derek Carr to Davante Adams. And the Raiders go up by 2 touchdowns. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on first and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And Davante Adams able to finish things with a touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And no run back here for more. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive, but at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer, and make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Murray. Incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Out of the gun, here's Murray. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything to hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down. Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first two drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a three-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw, it's Carr. Got a man, it's Darren Waller. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Third touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, just a sensational start for this offense, Charles. 3 drives, 3 passing touchdowns.
Is that like mentioning a perfect game in baseball? Or are we cool to do it here in football, partner?
No, I think you can do it here in football. I think perfect game in baseball, that's its own category.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Could not imagine a worse start for that secondary. Or let's face it, a better one for this offense. No chance they stop passing now the way that it's going. I think they'll continue to press the ball downfield and hopefully reap the same results.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 21 to zip. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And Moore, he's going to sit on this one, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 31, Murray. And down he goes, brought down a Raiders sack. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On 3rd down, it's Conner, and he is going to lose yardage here. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime here in Vegas with the Raiders on top. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime reports. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Arizona. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter.
We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Throwing now is Murray. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Chandler Jones, one of the best athletes to ever come out of Rochester, New York, in for the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
I think we've seen this before. If someone's down 3 scores, that situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking on the midfield logo.
A good head-down running on the return. Gets about 15 yards.
And this offense, they're going to have an excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
From the gun, it's Carr.
And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. 3rd quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So tack on 3 more, though it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner, but at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great too.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one, costing about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
All Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Here's Connor on the read option. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game. And really, they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That's pulled in at the 32. Oh, what a move. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but an end of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10.
The Raiders heading out to take over. Last time I remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on him, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. They'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
He hits Adams complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Make it 4 touchdown passes now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
The partner, he has carried them in this ballgame throwing the football. All 4 touchdowns through the air, and that's really helped them get this nice lead.
And I know it's a team game, but right now, he is truly the focal point. Every touchdown his team has so far has been the result of his arm. How about him throwing it downfield, creating big plays? I don't know how you slow him down unless you can make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 1st down, Murray. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing again on 2nd down. Murray. And the Raiders have got him. Chandler Jones, his 2nd sack of the night.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points. Down by 4 touchdowns. Haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
Well, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot. 3rd and long. Back to throw. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll be taken just outside the 40. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs.
And good work there in open space. He's got this all the way down now to the 32.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Once again, it's Jacobs.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take us inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Into the red zone, it's Carr. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, now to do it.
The Cardinal offense here ready to take over.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And he'll go right back to Moore, complete again.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Again, they'll throw with Murray. And that will be incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play. One that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right, and they will remain well behind. A tough day for this offense continues. One of their best chances to get on the scoreboard there, couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to happen for him today, does it? I mean, opportunity after opportunity, play after play has gone against him the entire game. They probably feel a little bit like Schleprock, got that black cloud over their heads.
The Raiders have the ball back, and here comes Davante Adams to the field again.
What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right, and let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral, because this doesn't just happen by accident. This isn't 4 times where the defense just falls down or breaks coverage. He's worked awfully hard, changing routes, changing areas, changing angles, and getting open for touchdown.
We knew he'd be part of the game plan in a big way, and it has been in a very big way.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Second down, Jacobs once more. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 45-yard line. 49 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
And a good physical run that time. He's going to wind up gaining 5 on that one.
So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense is they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.